Hooah! It's Friday. Welcome to Frontline, 6 o'clock here on the East Coast. We begin in Alaska, where actually thousands of people have been just removed from the state's active voter list due to them being non-citizens. Weird. However, some citizens were accidentally or erroneously flagged. Hey, Lisa Murkowski, does this give you any incentive whatsoever to get behind the Save America Act now? Just asking. Plus, new reporting from friend of the show, Luke Rosiak, Ilhan Omar's sister incorporated her $20 million USAID company using the same address as the Feeding Our Future convicts. Wonder why Ilhan's not cooperating with the investigators on that one. And tonight, President Trump returns to the White House Correspondents' Center, this time at the Washington Waldorf Astoria. A little better security there rather than the traditional Hilton. Just 3 months after the original dinner was disrupted due to another attempted Trump assassination. We're going to be following this through the night. But first, I love the stories of David and Goliath, especially when it's us versus the government and we win against the IRS. Let's do this. You know, one of my favorite things to do is stand up for the little guy. That's literally the backbone of this show. There is no better example of the little guy getting the shaft than when we have to deal with the IRS. Fortunately, under the Trump administration, we have people that are actually in touch with the public. John Rich, for example, special envoy to American landowners, has stepped in, and listen to how this went.
Just heard about Mr. Kirby, the farmer in Tennessee, who the IRS is threatening to seize his property for him not making payments on a refund that he never asked for, nor was it his. According to the facts, is how I know them now. He tried to return the money, and as we all know, sometimes the IRS just is a labyrinth of complexity.
This is a crazy story, and I'm telling you all this in case there's anyone else out there with a similar situation. There is help for you, especially now. But also, this ends well, and it's Friday, and I like to talk about a win on Friday. So in 2021, under Biden, a local Tennessee farmer named Mr. Kirby filed his taxes dutifully, like he does every single year, and was supposed to get an $1,100 refund. Instead of sending him just $1,100, the IRS actually sent him over $20,000. And Kirby was like, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. So he makes multiple calls, not one, not two, multiple calls to the IRS to let them know that they've made a mistake because he doesn't even use a computer. He's using the phone. He wrote them letters and things like that. You know how hard it is to get an IRS agent on the phone? Pretty hard. They blamed it on COVID, but oddly enough, COVID didn't stop them from sending all the bills to us to pay our taxes. Anyway, he couldn't get anyone to answer the phone for years, by the way, years, to figure out why this money was sent and all that stuff. So he has his accountant reach out. They couldn't get in touch with anybody either. At which point, he should have been allowed to just keep the money as far as I'm concerned. Keep in mind, Mr. Kirby is in his 70s. He's not like some international bank robber fleecing people. So he puts this money in this side account and just lets it sit there until he could get somebody on the phone. This went on for 4 years. Then, in early January of 2025, Mr. Kirby received a letter from the IRS telling him to send the $20,000 back with interest. So according to his accountant, he immediately sent all the money back, the full $20,000 amount, to the IRS. They cashed the check at the IRS on January 1st, 2025, but he didn't pay them any interest because he didn't owe it to him. At that point, Mr. Kirby's CPA set up an appointment at the Hopkinsville, Kentucky IRS field office. Mr. Kirby went with the agent, and the agent had him fill out this abatement form to explain why he didn't owe the interest on this money. Basically because it should never have been sent to him in the first place. The IRS waited 18 more months from that time, and then they denied his petition and is still holding Mr. Kirby responsible for the interest on the money the IRS mistakenly sent him in the first place. Folks, this is maddening. And this year, the IRS withheld Mr. Kirby's $1,873 refund that was due to him from his regular income as a payment towards the interest on the $20K that they sent him in error 4 years ago. Look, I know most of you at home, none of you are surprised with this level of incompetence at a government agency. But just a quick reminder, the same government that wants you and I to pass a competency test to exercise our Second Amendment rights, the people incompetent enough to screw this up this bad, they're also armed, as you can see in this video. That was their training video. Right. So fast forward to this month, July 4th of all days, 2026, the IRS sent him a letter stating intent to put a levy against his farm to pay the interest on the 20K. They sent him that by mistake, and now the lien is now scheduled to take place in the coming weeks, where they intend to seize his property. Yeah, right. However, thankfully, to avoid armed conflict, John Rich has stepped in, and as of this afternoon, it looks like this actually may be solved.
These are the kinds of things that I think the Trump administration cares about, just regular citizens who are running into situations that are so maddening. Nobody's ever listened to them before. Rest assured, Mr. Kirby's farm ain't going anywhere. It's going to stay right there with him.
Now, I spoke to John Rich, who's a good buddy of me, just before coming on this show on air, and he said this is being expedited to a resolution at the highest levels. The White House got involved. And good on the head of the IRS, the new head of the IRS, for getting this done. But what about the people who have this problem that didn't get noticed by John Rich or any media for that matter? When you have CPAs and yourself not able to get in contact with a civil servant serving, you can't penalize people for that. Now, the bigger problem is how we got here. First, the IRS should have never sent him the 20 grand. Their mistake, okay? Second, why could an ordinary citizen not reach the IRS agents with ease? They work for us, and they should have sent an agent to his house if they couldn't reach him. If you can send 100 agents to raid Mar-a-Lago in the middle of the night to get a note written on a napkin that you thought might have been classified, you can send a local agent to an old farmer's house. Third, once he got to speak with a local agent, why was this not wrapped up immediately? Like, how could any human with an IQ above a pineapple not see this and say, yep, sorry about that, we're going to take care of it, and it's over? That agent clearly is not qualified to work for any government agency and should probably be fired immediately and never allowed to work for any level of government ever again. And fourth, and this is the most important thing, there's a law that says they can't do this. That is there to protect this man from this type of thing that everybody this guy talked to in every step of this has ignored that law. 26 U.S. Code 6404E2, the provision on mandatory abatement of interest on certain erroneous refunds. Here is the statutory text, Section 2. The Secretary shall, not may, not should, shall abate the assessment of all interest on any erroneous refund under Section 6602 until the date demanded for repayment is made. Holy rusted metal, Batman. And since he tried like hell to pay it back and no one picked up the phone at the IRS, it must be forgiven. But more importantly, everyone, I'm talking scorched earth, everyone in the government who has ever had so much as been CC'd on an email about this guy's case should be charged with a crime. Not only should Mr. Kirby get to keep the 20 grand that they accidentally sent him, it should be paid out of the pocket of Biden's IRS director when they made this error, Dan Werfel. These laws are in place to protect you, me, and Mr. Kirby and everyone in America. Yet every single person in the chain of custody of this incident violated the law, and it caused this man 5 years of agita. Not a single IRS agent or federal worker will change a thing after this story unless there are real consequences. If I stiffed the IRS for 20 grand over 5 years, they would lock me up. So, Mr. President, how about we send a message that the people paid by our tax dollars cannot violate the laws they are taxed to enforce without consequences? The man himself, Tennessee farmer Wilson Perry Kirby. Sir, I am so sorry you had to go through with this, but we are going to make damn sure it gets fixed.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I thank God for helping me, and I thank my preacher for praying for me.
Yeah, well, I mean,
this has went on too long.
Yeah, it did. But, sir, like, you're getting these letters. How did this feel when you're like, I am trying to give you your money back, and they won't give it to you?
Well, sir, they send me a letter every so often, and it would like come from like AT&T, come all over the United States. I got them from Utah. I got them from Texas, Pennsylvania, Memphis, Missouri. I'm not ignorant, sir, but I don't know how to text, email, even turn the computer on. I'm old school. Yeah. They think everybody's supposed to know how to do that, but I don't, sir.
Yeah, well, but also, like, you would think that instead of sending, I don't know, what probably amounted to $100 in postage, that they would be like, hey, maybe we should just go knock on his door and see if he's, I don't know, even alive. I mean, did they ever try to do anything like that?
No, sir. Like I said, I texted my tax lady, and she said, I didn't do nothing wrong, and you didn't do nothing wrong. Maybe they'll send a letter explaining it. And I didn't get nothing. And like I said, I kept the money in the bank the whole 4 years. They put it in there. I never seen it, never signed it. And they could have took it out any time. But they found it. They caught it 4 years later and trying to make me pay for it.
Yeah, this is absolutely maddening. I mean, this is the type of stuff we dump tea in the harbor over. But we reached out to the IRS for comment, and they said, quote, the IRS takes all taxpayer-specific problems seriously and works diligently to help resolve any situation that taxpayers contact us about as quickly as possible. Sir, it's been 5 years. I wouldn't call that quick.
No, sir. But they did contact me this afternoon.
And what did they say?
Well, they called my tax lady called me, and we done a three-way talking. And the tax lady from Washington, D.C., apologized and said it would be handled. Until I see it black and white in a letter, ain't nothing for sure, sir.
Yeah, well, look, at least it got there. I mean, like, I saw your local interview and the emotion on your face. You're dealing with this ambiguous character in the ether that has no real connection to anybody, and they're just throwing letters that they're going to take your farm. I would warrant to say that probably a lot of people would show up and disagree.
Straight, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, can I get this straight?
Yes.
I thought they was going to take my land, but they was going to do a lien on my bank account. Let me get this straight now. Mm-hmm. I mismarried the letter. My tax lady straightened me out on it. So I want to get it straight. Okay, they wasn't going to take my farm, but they was going to put a lien on my bank account. Okay?
Yeah. Even that's your land that you've been working for, I don't know how many years. I mean, they have no right to do that with their mistake.
I ain't got it in here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But like I said, you know, they found it. They called it 4 years later. They didn't contact me, send me nothing, or let me know nothing.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Kirby, I am sorry you're going through this, and I'm going to talk to John Rich after this and see what anything we can do to help move this along to ensure that you have no more problems, sir. So we appreciate it.
Okay, I thank you and thank God for everybody to help me.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, well, I hope you serve as an example to make sure that this never happens to anybody again. Thank you, sir, and God bless.
Well, yes, sir, I was raised up right and wrong. Yeah. And I figured I didn't do no wrong, and maybe this will help, like you said. Other people's had trouble with the IRS. Maybe they can see this story and get it straightened out.
Yes,
maybe
sir.
I've done some good. I don't know.
All right. Well,
but I went through heck for 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and you should not have had to. So, sir, we appreciate your fight, sir. We're not going to let it go in vain. All right. Coming up, remember 2 years ago when we told you about the Democrat money funneling scheme behind Act Blue and how there was a bunch of clear evidence that people were, quote, donating money that they clearly didn't have and weren't actually donating? Well, it's happening again because Republicans didn't do anything. I'm going to break that down later in the show. But first, the U.S. launches new strikes as Iran rejects our ceasefire proposal. And President Trump's basically done with that. Me and some team guys going to sound off next.
A remote ranch. A notorious owner. A search for answers. Newsmax gets rare access inside Jeffrey Epstein's former New Mexico compound, where the past remains under investigation and a very different future unfolds. The ranch Epstein left behind. A Newsmax exclusive, Monday at 7 a.m.
Free yourself from prying eyes. Ask privately with Duck.ai. Visit Duck.ai to chat privately with ChatGPT, Claude, and other AIs for free, all in one place. Duck.ai is from DuckDuckGo, where AI is private and optional.
Pain kept slowing me down. Then I tried new KT Menthol pain relief patches. Unlike other patches that only mask pain, KT increases blood flow to help accelerate healing. So don't give up. Tape up. New KT Menthol pain relief patches.
Now, tirzepatide for weight management is available in a dissolvable tablet. It's not the injection and doesn't offer the same strength or clinical evidence as the injectable form, and results will differ from the injection. But for patients who don't want shots, this tablet option is worth exploring. Understanding results will differ from the injection. Tirzepatide tablets are a prescription that starts with a telehealth evaluation by a licensed physician who reviews your health history. And if it's right for you, they prescribe it. This might be worth a conversation.
All right, I'm going to get to Iran in a second, but I wanted to get to something near and dear to me first. The treatment of our veterans. There's been a serious void in the system, making it difficult for a lot of vets to get out of the military and be properly cared for because the systems, let's just say, are not user-friendly. Kind of the argument against socialized healthcare medicine, by the way. A company called TurboVets saw the need and filled it, not only hoping to change some of this broken veteran narrative, but also create a user-friendly interface for veterans and the VA, working as a team. President of TurboVets, retired SEAL and Medal of Honor recipient Chief Britt Slabinski, and Chief Business Officer for TurboVets and retired Navy SEAL combat veteran Jay Redman. All right, so, you guys have been working on something that behind the scenes requires an immense amount of work, but it's moving.
It is moving.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is something, though, that veterans don't necessarily always have the avenue to be able to communicate directly with the VA for the things they need. They don't even know what they need sometimes, but you guys have figured out a way to help advocate for that.
Yeah, first and foremost, we definitely, right now we're in active combat operations, and all of us, combat veterans, big shout out, our thoughts and prayers are with the troops overseas right now, and hey man, give them hell. Mm-hmm. We exist. TurboVets exist so that we can take care of those guys and gals when they come home and help them achieve their American dream.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we created this thing. Look, the services here, they're going to be absolutely free to our veterans, free for life. And it is, the beta testing is going on right now, so go to our website, click into it, log in, use it, abuse it.
Website is?
TurboVets.com.
TurboVets.com, use it, try to break it.
Yeah.
And we're going to go live with all of that in September.
But the other thing, too, is we're seeing with, we come back with injuries. I know I have all kinds of messed up stuff. We don't even know that we're eligible to get help for some of the things that affect us 5-10 years after. So if you've been out 10 years, you may still be eligible for help from the VA that you don't even know you're eligible for.
That's right. So often veterans aren't aware of the things that they're eligible for, and there's also this massive focus right now on disability. We obviously want to get every veteran every benefit on the disability side they've earned, but bigger than that, and there's a lot of focus on that. As a matter of fact, it's a massive pay-to-play system. There are many veterans who are having to pay money. TurboVets will always be free. Your data will always be secure. We'll never share it. We'll never sell it because you already earn those benefits. So instead, now we need to focus on let's get you what you earned and let's move you down the path to the American dream. So that's employment, education, entrepreneurship. What are the other opportunities that are out there? And that's where this tech comes together to show you that.
It's going to connect you to every single benefit that is out there, whether you know it or not. The engine inside TurboVets will help identify all of that for you.
But that's the thing, too. You and I got out around the same time. I was 2012, you were 2014. And one of the biggest things, I went to like a 3-day, or actually 3 half days of the TAPS class, transitioning from active duty. And they were like, basically, here's how to apply for unemployment, and here's how to do an interview that was taught by a bureaucrat who's never interviewed in the private sector. And they're like, good luck.
Virtually useless.
There's no transition. I mean, this is going to be one of the first realistic transition programs to get people resourced to other areas of help.
This is a complete ecosystem for your life. Just sign up for it, and you'll have all of these resources available to you for life, anytime. Log back in, you need help, you need change, you need services.
Yeah.
This is the one ecosystem for you.
It's like Costco for veterans.
This is basically.
Well, and that's what it's designed to do, not just for the veteran, for their family members, for their children. It's able to analyze and take a look at what you've done in your career, what you're currently doing as you continue to move on. It's not just transition out of the military. Veterans are always transitioning. At some point, they may be changing jobs, changing locations. We want to be able to customize, help aid them on their way to find that success.
No doubt.
That's our mission.
I want to get to Iran because this is what's going on. Like the level of intense attacks we've seen in the last 11 days is insane. Now, Iran rejected a ceasefire proposal. I don't know on what grounds, but Trump is now like, I'm basically going to wipe you off the map at this point because I've tried.
Yep. Does it surprise anyone? Right? I mean, this is let's just say the coalition, if we had one, right? The one chance we have to take care of a terrorist regime in that nation. History is going to look back on this moment and say, hey, why didn't you take care of it? Much like we'll go back to the Iraq War, the first Iraq War, when we should have dealt with Iraq back then. We're at that same transition point right now. The world, as regrettable as it is, works on fear and respect. If you're not going to respect us, you're going to get the other one. That's why the seal of the United States, the eagle, has arrows in one hand, olive branch in the other. We'd prefer to give you the olive branch. You don't want it, you're going to get the arrows. We have to make sure that what we are doing in Iran is going to make real, lasting change for the planet. Right. And now's our opportunity to do that.
When I hear, like, you're not just some guy saying, you are one of the most highly decorated SEALs in the history, given your time in Afghanistan and things like that. Like, people who are at home, they're like, oh, why are we still doing this,
Yeah, I mean, Iran for almost 50 years has been a threat to us. I mean, on the battlefields around the world, nations we're seeing it right now, how they lash out at other places. On our deployment that we were on, we lost guys to Iranian EFPs. And this needs to be done. President Trump and the Department of War need to apply gas. We need a coalition. Other people need to step up because I said this before. I'll say it again at CPAC. If we don't do this 10, 15, 20 years from now, we're going to have to go back and deal with Iran again. And I don't want my grandkids having to fight a fight that we should have finished right now.
My takeaway from that is that you're old. So, all right, turbovets.com.
Turbovets.com.
One-stop shop. Gents, we really appreciate it. All right, coming up, energy costs rising and Democrats keep regulating the industry for green scam boondoggles like wind. We got a guy fighting to track where your dollars are and fix the energy crisis problem. Next.
It's our America. We built it. Courage, freedom. Millions go to Newsmax when they need to know. Start today on the free Newsmax app. Newsmax is real news for real people.
We can't find a ranch style with a view.
And a mom-in-law suite.
More realtor agents recommend Realtor.com. With their expert new search tool, just search it like you'd say it.
Room for mom.
And Reba. Make it real with Realtor.com.
Doctors say having a medical emergency kit is like having an urgent care and pharmacy at home. Let me bring in Dr. McCullough to explain more.
Most people know when they're getting sick, but waiting to see a doctor is often too late.
So the key is having medicines before you need them.
Yes, and it includes doctor-prescribed medicines to treat common and serious issues like generic Z-Pak, amoxicillin, antibiotics, antivirals for flu, pneumonia, strep, ear and sinus infections, UTIs, and more.
So it is like having an urgent care at home.
Exactly. No waiting, no pharmacy, no copays. You feel better faster and avoid serious complications and hospitalizations.
How do you know what to take?
Just match your symptoms to the doctor-written guide or schedule a quick telehealth call.
Great advice. I understand ordering is fast online, and we've put the website and $45 off code on the screen. Thank you, doctor.
Visit urgentcarekit.com/news, promo code news. Another lost summer scrolling and swiping? Turns out the fix is right here. Create new lifetime memories from the comfort of your backyard. No passports, no reservations. Latham's premium handcrafted pools can be installed in weeks. Our pools won't stain or crack and never require costly resurfacing. And with our crystal finish, you can bring your favorite exotic watercolor and shimmer right to your own backyard. Visit LathamPool.com now. Latham is a proud sponsor of USA Artistic Swimming.
Don't kibble your dog.
Hey, Dr. Marty.
Hey, back.
What's wrong with this?
Let's check it out. It's still kibble, which means they're ultra-processed. At Dr. Marty, we freeze-dry premium meats, fruit, and vegetables, and it's available at your local pet store.
While this banana may not save you from someone breaking into your home, Berna's banana helped one vet repel an intruder in his.
This huge guy, 6'5", 6'6", just barreled through my front door. I have my Berna and my Glock. I always go for the Berna first. I've seen enough death and destruction the last 2 lifetimes. Here is the perfect item I can have, feel totally safe, and know I'm not going to kill anybody.
At Berna, we don't sell bananas, we sell peace of mind.
At Omaha Steaks, we take premium aged steak and turn it into pure ground burgers like this. Our Burger Perfection flight comes with 20 big, juicy burgers, all for just $79.99 at omahasteaks.com/TV. Burger Perfection guaranteed.
We interrupt your summer with huge news. Lumber Liquidators Flooring Flash Sale is happening now. 1 week of our lowest prices yet, with huge savings on hundreds of floors. Waterproof luxury vinyl plank, get up to 60% off. White oak engineered hardwood, up to 40% off. Plus, more deals on more floors in every store. Your next floor is priced right and ready to go, but only through July 28. Don't miss out. Shop nationwide or online at lumberliquidators.com.
All right, we just told you about the little guys suffering in our open, and Democrats always cry about it, but they're largely responsible for it by piling more and more expenses onto taxpayers, in this case by way of higher electric costs. Check this out. Did you know of the states with the highest electric costs, the top 7 have Democrat governors, 8 of the top 10 and 13 of the top 16. That's not a coincidence, guys. That's policy related. But what happens when Democrats like Connecticut current governor Ned Lamont are asked about it?
What would you say to people that say, well, your policies, Democratic policies, are one of the factors contributing to the fact that Connecticut has the 3rd highest electric rates?
Stop repeating that. Well, yeah, stop repeating that. Right, because pretending these high prices don't exist is going to help Democrats sleep better at night. Won't help our electrical bills, but I mean, they're raiding our wallets for excessive energy costs, whether it be hidden fees to pay for green policies, the blocking of pipelines, or just regular regulations that they love to put in place. You know things, by and large, Democrats love. These are real dollars that we are paying for in our electric bills, but they're being funneled back to the bureaucracy. Thankfully, there are some Republicans, like my next guest, who are making it a priority to not only lower these costs, but my next guest was the actual guy in the state of Connecticut that passed a law so you could actually see what this money was going to. Connecticut State Senator and candidate for governor Ryan Fazio. Sir, I mean, at least you got him to show us what the money went to.
And exactly right. Thanks for having me, Carl. But that's the first step to making change, ensuring that there's transparency so people understand that they're getting ripped off by their politicians and the bureaucrats. It's not just an act of God that states like Connecticut have the 3rd highest electric rates in the country after only Hawaii, which is detached from the mainland, and California, which is detached from reality.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this way. And that's what my campaign for governor is all about, that we can end all these hidden taxes and fees that go to for-profit energy companies at the cost of seniors on a fixed income, working class families. We need to look out for, as you say, the little guy and gal rather than these big corporations or these big bureaucracies.
So, Ryan, I want to put something up for you because I'm a Connecticut resident and I hope you're my next governor. This is my electrical bill from a house that I only spend the weekends at. $505.19. And you can see I'm only there 2 days a week. All right. 47% of my electrical bill. And that, by the way, that bar graph at the bottom is the one that you forced a law to get in so I could actually see it. Only 47% of that $505.19 that I'm paying for a house that I spend 7 days a month at is going to my actual electricity. Everything else is going to garbage.
Yeah, and not only that, but even within the supply portion of the bill, there are hidden taxes and fees that aren't paying for energy. You said it in your lead-in very well. There are fees like the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative and the Renewable Portfolio Standard that are responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars that go to, again, subsidized for-profit energy companies or government bureaucracy, not to actually pay for electricity. And those costs are going up all across the Northeast, from Virginia up to Maine.
And keep in mind, that house, by the way, that I just put that bill up for, is like 1,500 square feet. I built it myself. It's not like a mansion, all right? It's like the most insane thing. I get these bills. I'm like, what are we even paying for here? All right, but the other thing is, no matter how many times the Democrats are warned about green energy scams and stuff like this, just to the north, Massachusetts, Maura Healey, last month, she was like celebrating the completion of this huge commercial scale offshore wind project, which every other state is tearing down.
Not only that, but that offshore wind project being built by a multinational corporation will cost about 3 times what the market rate, the wholesale market for electricity is. So it's padding the profits of international corporations on the backs of New England, especially Massachusetts customers who are struggling to get by. I mean, this is a scandal of epic proportions. It's corporate welfare meets ideological kind of progressivism, and the regular, mom or dad or senior on a fixed income is just getting killed. Or, the regular Carl Higbie is just getting killed.
Yeah, like, I mean, we eat these bills every month. It's like, it's horrible. But anyway, Ryan Fazio running for governor in Connecticut. Where do people find out about you?
RyanFazio.com. All the social medias. X is at Ryan Fazio. I hope you'll follow along.
All right, Ryan, appreciate it. Hope you can do something about it, sir.
Will do, Carl.
All right. Folks, also next Friday, July 31st, I'll be doing my show live from the Gun Owners Advocacy and Leadership Summit in Des Moines, Iowa. We're going to be speaking with some of the leading defenders of the Second Amendment and some of the biggest names in gun manufacturing and advocacy. If you attend, which I hope you do, because I'd love to meet you there, be sure to check out my speech Saturday around, I think, 3 o'clock. So join us next week. We'll be there. All right, coming up, the Associated Press running a piece on trans sex workers in Nepal and the dangers of working on the streets over there. But of course, they found a way to blame Trump on it. We got that in Culture Clash next.
A new president is sworn in. America's greatness is restored. Millions of Americans are tuning in to Newsmax. Even President Trump says Newsmax is terrific. Watch Newsmax or download our free app on your TV or phone today.
Your neighbor just paid an enormous amount for a new roof, but he didn't have to, and neither do you. Because RoofMax can add years of life to your current roof.
Here's how you know you have a problem with your roof. Black streaking, your roof looks rough, or granules shedding off into your gutters or showing up in your driveway. Your roof is wearing out too fast, and it's going to cost you a bundle. RoofMax makes your roof like new by strengthening and rejuvenating it.
Get your roof treated now, but pay later, with no payments for a full year.
Now, tirzepatide for weight management is available in a dissolvable tablet. It's not the injection and doesn't offer the same strength or clinical evidence as the injectable form, and results will differ from the injection. But for patients who don't want shots, this tablet option is worth exploring. Understanding results will differ from the injection. Tirzepatide tablets are a prescription that starts with a telehealth evaluation by a licensed physician who reviews your health history. And if it's right for you, they prescribe it. This might be worth a conversation.
These days, supporting the right causes matters more than ever. That's why I chose Patriot Mobile. They're not just a great mobile service provider, they're all about giving back. Every bill helps support causes we believe in: family, faith, and freedom. You get great nationwide coverage on all 3 main networks. Even better, you're doing it with an American company that stands up for us. It's time to make the switch, y'all. Let's support a wireless company that's got our back. Go to patriotmobile.com and make the switch today.
When I started Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses, I needed a website.
And GoDaddy Hero uses AI to make a beautiful website so fast it'll blow my customers' noggins.
While they're shopping for Goggins for their noggins.
So my friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data, and because they trust me. As for the rest of you, Pure Talk is now offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months. Think of it like a test drive, a super affordable way to see firsthand why a few 100,000 of my closest friends made the switch to Pure Talk, an American wireless company where the friendships really are unlimited.
For pain in multiple spots like here, here, or here, Salonpas patches stick firmly and remove comfortably once your pain is gone. Salonpas. It's good medicine.
Nobody knows Corvettes like McMulkin Chevrolet, the world's largest Corvette dealer for 5 consecutive years. Set apart by its name alone, Corvette delivers a legacy of American craftsmanship, and a vehicle that sets the bar for performance cars deserves a buying experience that beats it. With hundreds of Corvettes in stock and ready for immediate delivery nationwide, it's no wonder Corvette enthusiasts from across the USA keep coming back to McMulkin Chevrolet.
My dad has never been in better shape. He had a stroke and passed away. He had a life insurance policy. Ethos.com. In 10 minutes, you can be covered with life insurance.
Check your price today at ethos.com.
All right, folks, some breaking news. Here's a live look at the red carpet and inside tonight's White House Correspondents Association dinner. President Trump will be addressing the dinner, and we'll have that live for you once he does. Keep it here on Newsmax for that. All right. There's some interesting polling coming out of Emerson College this week, which shows me that our culture is basically collapsing, which is why we put it in this block. One showing that the GOP has an 11-point gap on the generic congressional ballot. By the way, which I don't believe. It was only a 6-point gap negative in January, apparently. But Republicans, they got to close that gap before November. This shouldn't be hard to do with Democrats' largest podcaster dressing up as Mao. But I also don't see that lead lasting that long with this as their 28 lineup either. Pete Buttigieg raising to the top, 19% despite polling 0 with black people. Newsom and his high-speed rail that didn't get built, close to 17%. And John Ossoff is tied with AOC at 13%. Kamala Harris at 8%. Weren't we told that she was the obvious choice? Apparently not. Andy Bashir, Josh Shapiro, J.B. Pritzker, and Ro Khanna all had a weigh-in, and they're all down below 9%. I mean, like, what a lineup, huh? Jessica Mauro, competitive pistol shooter and firearms content creator, and author of The Common Sense Cowboy Guide to Life, the Common Sense Cowboy himself, Patrick Dorinson. Patrick, that's what they got.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, Carl, welcome to the 2028 Democratic National Committee Goat Rodeo and Tie-Down Contest. You know, it's laughable to read some of these polls. Here we are, it's the summer of 2026. We haven't even had a midterm election. But you know, when I look at polls like this, especially on the generic ballot, the thing that I'm looking at is I'm looking at who's paying for this poll, because remember,
right,
polls are not made to gauge public opinion. They're made to take news stories and try and influence public opinion. So they're trying to depress Republicans this summer so they won't be turning out in the fall, and they're trying to pump up the Democrats. But I agree with you. I don't think it's these numbers at all.
Yeah, polls are a lot like scientists, where 100% of them tend to agree with the people who are funding them. Jessica, speaking of Democrats in charge, where everywhere is a dumpster fire, last night in New York City, 2 people were stabbed on the Upper West Side by a 51-year-old Raul Morales, who reportedly yelled Allahu Akbar during the attacks. NBC wrote this in an article that the NYPD is investigating whether the stabbings are a hate crime and blah, blah, blah. I got an idea. I don't know, shoot back?
Right. Well, so the thing that really stuck out about this most for me was the hate crime charges, because I don't think anyone's disagreeing that this guy's a piece of garbage. I mean, you stabbed 2 innocent people, but what does that have to do with race or religion or gender? Because if this was a woman here that we were talking about, then we wouldn't be talking about hate at all. We'd be talking about an attempted murder charge. So, you know, that's already inherently hateful. So if this guy has terroristic ties, then prosecute him as a terrorist. But I think we're kind of towing this weird line of infringing on our First Amendment right by tacking on a hate crime charge, because at the end of the day, you can hate whoever you want, but you can't stab them.
Yep. Facts. That is true. Patrick, I honestly still don't believe, though, that this is real. That the Associated Press decided to run on a story. They ran a whole story on transgender people in Nepal not being able to get jobs thanks to Trump pulling USAID funding. They're saying, quote, starving and scared, around 100 LGBTQ plus aid workers left jobless by the funding cuts have turned to sex work to survive. Well, I don't even care about people in Nepal.
Well, the very fact that the federal government of this great nation funded 100 people in Nepal to do whatever, especially the kind of work they were probably doing, which was, talking about all kinds of LGBT stuff and, putting up pride flags all over the place. But I got to tell you something. This is one thing I wish the Republicans would get off their keisters and do something about. This is all the point of what NGOs do. They got their fingers deep into the Treasury, and the Department of Education is nothing but a bunch of people who are out there trying to make money off the government with their NGOs. It's the same with USAID. So let's look into this, Republicans, and start cutting this money right down to the bone.
Yeah, Jessica, they actually, this is so funny to watch. Roll this real quick.
Night after night, Ruby Lama, a transgender sex worker, puts on her makeup and forces herself out onto the streets.
But after the U.S. cut its foreign aid funding, Ruby is surviving now by working the streets.
पहिला चाहिँ अब हाम्रो जुन यो फन्डिङ थियो युएसको जुन फन्डिङ हुँदा चाहिँ अब कन्डम.
Former aid workers like Ruby say unless a new funding source is found, they are left with two options: sex work or starvation.
I'm sorry, how big is the market in Nepal for a transgender hooker?
Right. I mean, I don't even really understand what this has to do with transgender people at all. And I don't know if it's just some story to kind of elicit some perceived injustice in the LGBTQ community. But to me, it sounds like we were federally funding this program. We decided to cut it. And now, however unfortunate it may be, these people have just gone back to living life the way that they were prior to. So if anything, I think it's really just more of a testament to how out of control our federal spending has gotten. Because what do you mean we're sending lubricants and condoms to sex workers in another country?
Also, starving, you're putting on fake eyelashes and makeup that cost money. Patrick, I got about 30 seconds for you here on the consequences of own actions. Hundreds of freshmen set to start classes next month at the HBCU Howard University claim that they were mistakenly unenrolled. Oh, but they forgot to pay their tuition.
Yeah, I read the story. They didn't pay their tuition. They had some due last spring, and they didn't pay it. So now they're complaining that they're going to get kicked out of school or not even be allowed to enroll. Look, when the bill comes, I'm going to explain it to them, make it easy. When the bill comes in the mail, you pay it. Let's all go through that one more time. Get the bill, pay the bill, story ends.
It seems simple enough. Patrick, Jessica, appreciate both of you guys. All right, coming up, more evidence of Act Blue's shady donations that we've been sounding the alarm for like over 2 years, by the way. And approximately, give or take, 0 people have been arrested for it. It's driving me insane. Next.
As a working mom, I'm always on the move. The zip-up shoulder support bra from Tommy Copper is the perfect bra for my busy life. I have to do it all, and I can wear it for anything. I love the support for my back and shoulders. From morning to night, why would I wear any other bra? Thank you, Tommy Copper.
My days are long, packed with activities. I need a bra that's comfortable and supportive.
Thanks, Tommy Copper.
I feel so confident with great posture. No matter what I'm doing, why would I wear any other bra? Thank you, Tommy Copper.
Go to TommyCopper.com and upgrade your bra today.
For the love of your life, have your engagement ring custom made by the Jewelry Exchange. 1-carat certified lab diamonds, $4.99, or natural GIA for $15.90. 14K mounts are $4.99. Thousands of choices, always the best deal. The Jewelry Exchange Direct.
I'm Elmer Heinrich. I'm in the nutritional business, primarily selling plant-derived minerals. The world is sick due to a lack of minerals in our food, which is caused by a lack of minerals in topsoil. There is an incredible and proven nutritional product on the market that can overcome this problem. It's Immuno 150. Now, Immuno 150 is different, it's real, it's powerful, it's helped thousands. Now, don't hesitate any longer. Place your order for what may be the best food supplement in the world.
It's 2 a.m., your fever spiked, and you're miserable. Here's your options.
Urgent care, closed. ER, slammed. And you'll spend hundreds of thousands in both. Telehealth, yeah, but the pharmacies are closed.
That's the reason why we keep emergency medical kits at home.
It has doctor-prescribed medication like generic Z-Pak, amoxicillin, other antibiotics and antivirals. You can treat flu, pneumonia, strep, sinus infections, UTIs, and more.
Because if you're sick in at night, traveling or stranded, you don't want options.
You want what is inside this kit. No waiting, no pharmacy, and no copays.
Just schedule a quick telehealth call.
And that's how you feel better faster and avoid serious complications.
Every family should have this kit, and here's how to order yours.
Order online in minutes and use the promo code to save $45. Your doctor-prescribed kit ships fast to your door, packed with medications to treat over 30 conditions. So when something hits, you're ready. And a wellness company telehealth doctor is always there if you need guidance.
I've been in the fitness industry for more than 25 years, and Fatty 15 is a built-in recovery system for your cells. You can't have a healthy outside if you're not taking care of the inside. Try Fatty 15.
I was tired of sitting on the sidelines. Now, thanks to Jointivia, I'm back in the swing of things. Wait, $70 for a refill?
You gotta try Single Care. Just look up your prescription, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and save.
Really?
Really. Single Care crushes the cost of my prescription, almost as much as I'm crushing Chad.
Unbelievable. See why more people are saving with Single Care. Common side effects include shockingly lower prices, excessive fist bumps, and humbling guys named Chad.
Okay, so about 2 years ago, we told you about this thing called Act Blue, and that's trending again. Clear evidence of people that can't donate the amount of money that's actually being donated to Democrats in their name. And like everything else, the Republicans have arrested, and I'm approximating here, give or take, nobody for it, despite having the Justice Department for 2 years. So now we're seeing the same problem again.
Are you Elizabeth Waffle?
Yeah.
It says here that you've donated $150,000 in the last 5 years to various campaigns. Did you make 15,000 donations in 5 years? $150,000?
150? Hell no. I don't have that kind of money.
This is how someone like Graham Plattner raises $16 million, or AOC, or some random irrational candidate running on socialism with no resume raises like $10 million. The answer is they don't actually raise that money. The answer is they find women like Elizabeth Waffle, who lives in a trailer and doesn't even have a computer.
Do you have a computer?
No.
No? So how could you make all these donations?
I don't know.
She don't know. I don't know either. But what Todd Blanche, maybe you should investigate this type of smurfing is what they call it. We explained smurfing 2 years ago. They call these people smurfs or money mules, people who have knowingly donated to Democrats via Act Blue once before, but then their identity is cloned or stolen and used to make multiple donations from an unknown source, but still in their name. Take this woman from Louisiana. She's a 74-year-old woman, worked a middle-income job most of her life, yet according to FEC data, and we're withholding their names, in the last 7 years has made $573,447 in donations to Democrats. And here's where it gets really weird. She did it in over 1,400 individual transactions, averaging $76 per donation. And it doesn't seem to come from this person's bank account. They would have seen that volume of money, and judging by our available research, it doesn't appear she has these type of assets. Just like Elizabeth Waffle. That was 2 years ago, by the way. Voting and gun rights, by the way, are equally protected. But you know damn well that if I used Miss Waffle's identity to, buy a gun, you would have every blue state attorney general looking to arrest me for that. It's the same concept here. They want to string Trump up on a $138,000 payment to Stormy Daniels, but $150,000 from this woman living in a trailer because she couldn't afford to rebuild her house? Totally fine. Nothing to investigate here, Todd. This is Democrats, exclusively Democrats doing this. Republicans are not doing this. And you want to know how I know? Because Republicans get caught in anything they do wrong, even sometimes things they don't do wrong. You know, if a Republican was cheating the systems like Democrats apparently are with Act Blue, it would be front page news of everything. And Democrats would send like Mark Elias, their legal hitman, to go take them down. And they would change the statute of limitations like they did in New York to go after Trump. They would turn a misdemeanor into like a bazillion felonies like they did with Trump. Look, I'm not an investigator, but I'm also not a moron. So I can pretty much figure out how to prosecute this if anybody at the Justice Department cares to listen to me. If you have like forensics accountants and AI and all these kinds of tools at your disposal, why don't you go find, I don't know, anybody who's donated more than 5 times to a single Democrat in a single election cycle through the Act Blue system? How about that? Like, look at this. You mean to tell me that in less than 90 days, Kamala Harris raised more than Donald Trump did in 2 years? Fat chance. I'd be willing to bet more than a few of those people on that Act Blue system are like Miss Waffle. And then you know what you could do? You could send an agent to get off their ass and go to every single house and interview those people. And when you find people like this woman living in a trailer that allegedly donated 150 grand, which she didn't, you follow the money and find out where it did come from. Because it didn't come from her bank account. She would have noticed. This is low-hanging fruit. And like all Trump supporters, we always say, we want someone to go to jail. Just talked to you about polls. This will skyrocket Republicans. You could put somebody in jail tomorrow, including the people running Act Blue. Just arrest the entire echelon, the entire C-suite of that company. I would be shocked if they didn't know about this stuff. They can claim ignorance from inside a cell. How would they feel if, oh, I don't know, they were held without trial as long as the people were from January 6th? There are laws by the FEC that says you can't do this. And if you don't understand the gravity of why this is important, Todd, let me tell you, money is message. And the Democrats' message is just terrible. It's so bad that they are running on stuff that has never worked and gotten like 200 million people killed in the history of the world. But if you have the money, you can overwhelm the reality of your terrible message to some people to get them to vote for you. If a Republican is out there saying all the right things with all the right policies about tax cuts and helping the little guy and all that stuff, but somebody who has 10 times the money to put out an ad saying, oh, no, that Republican is lying to you, even if that's not true, people are going to believe he's lying because of the distribution of the message. Money buys message distribution, ground support. It buys get out the vote. It buys stickers and flyers and airtime and everything you need to win a campaign. Think about all the things Republicans are doing right on policy and all the things that Democrats are doing wrong on policy. And it's still a 50-50 proposition in this country by and large. If there was a level playing field, these elections wouldn't be close. And yet you have a bunch of babbling geriatrics in the Senate that won't vote for things like the Save America Act that leads me to believe that those same people, like Murkowski you see on screen, are in that game too. I mean, that's really the only logical conclusion. But again, this message that doesn't have 15 million behind it during an election cycle will probably be drowned out by whining libs like we showed you yesterday with Molly Jong Fast saying that, oh, we know what you see is happening isn't actually happening. Don't believe your lying eyes. We're the media. We're the experts, like Brian Stelter used to say. You should trust us because we vet our sources. And it turned out they were wrong about every star-spangled thing they said. What do I know, though? Maybe Todd Blanche should get on this one. All right, before we go, we warned you yesterday that AI might try to wipe us out. It's already killing our minds in college campuses, though. Got that next.
The press won't report the real story.
The American people are actually very smart.
Ridiculous statements.
These guys are just plain weird.
Actual scandals.
Even the immunity decision. I mean, that decision was so misreported.
That's my job, and I aim to do it every night.
People always ask, why Patriot Gold Group? With over 10,000 clients to date and over $1 billion in transactions, not a single complaint on the Better Business Bureau. Consumer Affairs top rated for 9 years in a row. Over 2,000 5-star reviews. The only company nationwide where you, the client, work directly with an owner. Home of the no fee for life IRA. Gold is up 80% in the last 28 months, 275% since Lehman Brothers collapsed. We are patriots protecting patriots. Give Patriot Gold Group a call at 888-528-4290 before it's too late. Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold and silver dealer 9 years in a row. Call now, 888-528-4290.
Pain kept slowing me down. Then I tried new KT Menthol pain relief patches. Unlike other patches that only mask pain, KT increases blood flow to help accelerate healing. So don't give up. Tape up. New KT Menthol pain relief patches.
Now tirzepatide for weight management is available in a dissolvable tablet. It's not the injection and doesn't offer the same strength or clinical evidence as the injectable form, and results will differ from the injection. But for patients who don't want shots, this tablet option is worth exploring, understanding results will differ from the injection. Tirzepatide tablets are a prescription that starts with a telehealth evaluation by a licensed physician who reviews your health history. And if it's right for you, they prescribe it. This might be worth a conversation.
Another lost summer scrolling and swiping? Another lost spring break? Turns out, the fix is right here. Create new lifetime memories from the comfort of your backyard. No passports, no reservations. Latham's premium handcrafted pools are ultra durable for any climate. Can be installed in weeks, not months. And have hundreds of designs, sizes, and colors to choose from. For 70 years, Latham Pool has remained the gold standard in bringing backyard dreams to life. Our pools are easy to care for, won't stain or crack, and never require costly resurfacing. And with flexible financing options, your dream is within reach. And with our crystal finish, you can bring your favorite exotic watercolor and shimmer right to your own backyard. It's never too early to start planning for a lifetime of memories. Visit LathamPool.com now. Latham is a proud sponsor of USA Artistic Swimming.
Don't kibble your dog.
Hey, Dr. Marty.
Hey, back.
What's wrong with this?
Let's check it out. It's still kibble, which means they're ultra-processed. At Dr. Marty, we freeze-dried premium meats, fruits, and vegetables, and it's available at your local pet store.
So last night we told you about the dangers of AI and asked about what happens when AI wants to eliminate us. But what we didn't cover is the practical use of AI as much, like the help with research. But college kids are actually using it to cheat because they're lazy. Professor Jason Gibson posted how many students he failed that were using AI to completely cheat. This is hilarious. Roll this.
So this discussion post was a portion of my students' midterm, and if you look, looks normal, right? But if you copy and paste this and look closely, in white ink, I placed the word Madagascar somewhere in the response in a way that makes no sense. But if you uncopy and paste it, you can't see it. You would be amazed at the bizarre usage of the word Madagascar that I saw in these students' assignments. So yeah, 32 out of 35 students failed a portion of their midterm.
32 out of 35 students failed because they cheated with AI.
God help us. God help us, because these are the same kids that will become teachers, doctors, future voters.
Stay healthy. Your future doctor's getting AI'd.
Right, driving, piloting planes. All right, thank you so much. All right, have a good one.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.